of school straight into the lower decks of the Navy as the youngest. I think I was 16 and the youngest person I was in a 40-man mess deck, and I was 16.
Wow.
And I think the average age was about 25, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did that, that must have,
shaped
been a bit of a,
yes. Luckily public school prepared me quite well for it.
Yeah. And what were the sort of, roles? What would your sort of role entail then at 16?
So I was a boiler front.
Oh, what? Sorry, a boiler front.
A boiler front stoker, STOKER.
Yeah.
So I worked in the boiler room of a Leander class frigate on Y160 boilers.
That sounds like hot work.
It was horrendous. It was just like the worst ever.
How long were you doing that for?
I did that for, I very quickly sort of worked my way around that and left I wasn't a boiler front stoker anymore, but, I was actually a marine engineer for, until 91, so 4 years.
Okay, so you did all your engineering education in the Navy?
Yeah, there isn't much engineering education. It's you're more of a mechanic. You were called a junior marine engineering mechanic.
Right.
So JMEM 2. So you can't say you're an engineer, you're a mechanic, really.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Did all of that in the Navy. Okay,
and then when you left, what were you doing when you left?
So I left there in 1991 and I became an air crewman. So the air crewman is in the back of a Sea King helicopter. It's basically the guy that hangs out the winch.
Yeah.
Or does the anti-submarine warfare, so controls all the sonar in the back of the helicopter.
So you went from the lower decks to the sort of, to the skies?
Yeah, pretty much from the bow of the ship. So I was in the bilge of the ship. I remember going into the bilge, which is the lowest point of the ship, because somebody dropped a spanner and I had to go down and get it because I was the smallest. So crawling around the bilges of the ship, and then I thought, nah, I don't want to do this. And then within a year later, I was actually flying, 1,000 feet above it, thinking,
wow.
Yeah, this is much better. This is much cleaner, and I was getting paid more money for it.
Yeah, and obviously cleaner air as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was much better. And then, so I became an air crewman, which is one of 4 crews. So you've got 2 pilots, an observer, so all 3 of those are officers, and then you've got the air crewman who is a rating. So I became a leading air crewman, then was just about to get promoted to petty officer air crewman when I transferred over in 1998, I think it was, and I became an officer. So I moved from the air crewman right-hand seat into the officer on the left-hand seat.
Okay.
And the officer is effectively the navigator.
Yeah.
He's the aircraft commander and the navigator.
Yeah.
Sorry, the mission commander and navigator.
So you make sure things get done.
Yeah, it's our aircraft. We're in charge of, we're in charge of the mission. So it's either, as an observer, I did, 2 frontline tours, I think, on 8, maybe it was 1. Yeah, I think I did a frontline tour on 820 Squadron. And then...
Where was that to?
Based at Coldrose.
Yeah.
And then in 2003, I think it was, 2003, I did a 3-year tour on search and rescue at 771 Squadron. I guess as a marine engineer on a Leander, we went to the Gulf War in whenever that was, 89, I think.
Yeah.
88, 89, late 80s. And then as an air crewman, we were in the Mediterranean would have been about 94